How's it going? So today we're going to be doing a simple foam repair on a commercial Ford van. This one actually, the cover's not damaged at all, but you can just see there's nothing here. I'll turn this sideways. You can see the seat's actually starting to wrinkle because there's just no support. So this will be a quickie, but it's kind of a common thing that we do. A lot of people who, especially who use these for work or utility purposes, when you're in them a lot, it really gets uncomfortable when you feel like you're falling off, and eventually it'll actually lead to ripping the material here. So you really want to make sure that this bolster is nice and firm. We're going to pull it apart and get going. I'm going to start by removing the plastic here. These are, you got to be careful with the plastic. If it's cold out and you start to mess around with it, you could crack it or break it. So make sure it's nice and warm and be really gentle with everything. So you just had a little plastic clip there. You just got to pull it out a little bit and then push those up and it slides right off. Okay, so I have to remove the Torx head screws. 4 of them in the back underneath here. This out. Okay, so let's get this. Okay, let's see what the damage is. Where are these guys? Okay, so whenever you're pulling these apart, you gotta be careful because these Velcro seats, you see there, a lot of times they don't stick well, so you wanna make sure you hold them down. You don't rip the Velcro off the cushion, which we're gonna have to repair this cushion anyways because it's a little bit tough, a little bit messed up. Okay, pull our hog rings up. 3 hog rings in the garbage. This one's actually pulling right up, so we're going to have to fix that. And 2. Okay, so you can see the Velcro is already pulled up from this foam. This foam's actually really dry, and it's dusty, which it shouldn't be. Polyurethane foams usually don't dry out like this, so I don't know why it says. You can see here, this side of the seat is soft. It's not like it's worse or softer, but it is chewed up here. So what happens is when this gets chewed up, now there's just nothing here at all. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna cut this out. We're gonna put a better grade foam in here, a little bit firmer, just because we know that this side of the seat's always gonna get worn out, but not too firm. If you put a foam in here that's too firm, it's obviously gonna feel different than the other side. Also, sometimes it adds the pressure to you and it hurts. And if you're sitting in the seat for a long time, it could get uncomfortable. Velcro's in there, that's glued in there. Put the glue a little heavy and let it dry. I glued that one down too, so now that one's sticking. What I did is, you can see I ended up cutting, this was the piece here. I cut it out right to where the damage stopped. Cut this layer out, I cut the bottom layer out. I'm gonna take a firmer foam and put it in here just because we know this is a high wear area. We do not want to put a firmer foam up here, like I said before, because it'll be too firm and it'll feel really bad. We have this pretty much reshaped. I have the firmer foam on the bottom, the same density foam up here. What I'm going to end up doing is, you can see it's still worn down and it's a little lower than this side. So we're going to put a 1/2 inch of so foam here because with a scrim bottom, when we glue it on, the material will kind of bond this all together. It'll be a little bit more firm. And then on this side, normally you don't have to do anything, but so it's the same density. I'm gonna put a 1/4 inch layer of so foam on this side, and that'll kind of bulk it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna put a piece of 1/4 inch around here to kind of lock this all in so it looks good. Now we have the so foam on the side, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. The reason I put the 1/4 inch here is because obviously we know this foam has had failure already. Inevitably this is going to fail too. By putting the material back so foam on here, it actually keeps all this foam together and will hopefully help from keeping it from breaking down. I also went on the bottom here. I roll it around. The factory foam has like a harder material on here, which it's there to keep the foam from falling apart. But seeing as it already failed, I figured having the extra material around here will help. And so far it's lasted a long time for us. We've done a lot of repairs that have lasted for many, many years. I'm gonna put the cover back on this and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna put the cover back on. In upholstery, you always turn the covers inside out. And I'll show you why. So I'm gonna line this up. Always get our centers first. I'm gonna use pneumatic auger pliers, but you could actually use manual ones if you wanted to. Let me just speed up the process quite a bit. Make sure everything's centered. That's good. Now we're just gonna push our Velcro down and make sure it's nice and sticky. This side too. Here you go. So this is why you fold it inside out. You'll line up your seams and then you're just going to roll it over. That'll help you give a nice crisp edge to it. Same thing here. Line up our seams. We're going to put our hands in there and we're just going to roll it over. These guys down here. Here. Now I'm just pulling the clips around. These little plastic clips just clip onto the metal. You just want to roll them around. Some vehicles are a real pain to do. Want to make sure it snaps into place. Good. Now sometimes these plastic clips fail, so what you end up having to do is put an actual mechanical fastener in there to keep them. These ones were actually holding pretty good, so we're just going to leave the factory clips the way they were. Everything's clipped in. Okay. Now all I'm going to do is we're going to make sure our Velcro stuck really well so we get a nice pronounced edge. I'm going to clean this and I'm going to heat it up so we take out any wrinkles from where you had it folded. What I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to heat up the vinyl. From the foam being collapsed, the cover has been kind of in a weird position and got some wrinkles in it. So I want to remove those. So we're going to heat it up, get it nice and warm. Again, you always want to have your hand there because if it's too hot for your hand, it's probably too hot for the vinyl. Usually use a heat gun on vinyls and a steamer on leather. Because the steam actually puts moisture into the leather and lets it work better. So we got that warm. I'm actually going to let this just sit because the from being in that position for so long, that line that's there, actually it's not a wrinkle anymore. It's actually a little bit of an imprint from just sitting there for so long. So, take a look at it. Here's the seat. You see there's a couple little puckers in here. I'm just going to let that kind of go on its own. I warmed it up, but this seat has been sitting like this in the broken position for a long time. So now you have a nice bolster. This bolster and this bolster feel the same. This will hold up a lot longer. I don't know if you could see. There's that crease right there. That's not a wrinkle. This here is a wrinkle, but that'll come out. It's actually really warm and malleable now. That's it. Nice and easy seat repair, foam repair for a Ford van.